Greetings, Patrick here, and welcome to Dollar Theater. That's right, another edition of Dollar Theater here on Eight Questions with, um, and I have Cheetah Will View. I had so much fun last week discussing the Cradle to the Grave film that I decided to stay in the world of martial arts and talk about another film, another martial arts film. It's one that my buddy Catfish had left me, and I never heard about it before at all. Um, I just saw it and I went like, yeah, that probably seems like a public domain type movie, but I love these old chopsakis. So the movie this came out like they have small collections of all these movies. If you look at them, you'll see this a lot of times. You'll see the same movies over and over in these collections. And for this one, we're going to be talking about Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers. That's right. Um, this movie came out in 1978, and it stars Dragon Lee, who is very unusual in Chinese martial arts in the fact that he is actually a Korean-born martial artist. He was born in Korea, and there he learned. He grew up idolizing Bruce Lee, like many Asian young men did. And he wanted to become an actor because he was impressed by Bruce Lee. So he took a taekwondo and hapkido, and so he decided that he was going to start acting, and so he became a mainstay in 1970 and 78 movies. He has a really fierce look, and he's pretty powerful as well. Um, so he and people, that's how he was discovered. Actually, somebody had actually commented that he looked very much like Bruce Lee, and so he took that as an honor, and he was introduced to the right people, and he started acting in the 70s. Um, One of the actors who he worked with as far as studying Taekwondo was actor Kim Tai Chung, who actually played Bruce Lee's double in the final scenes of Game of Death, which was Bruce Lee's last film. So, for the movie that we'll be talking about today, though, the Five Brothers, Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers, came out in 1978, and um, it was pretty fun. I have to admit. I know that this was not a pretty well received film. This movie did not get that well received. It was actually initially released in South Korea, but I had no problems with it. It was fun. The plot is funny as hell in a way. Um, Dragon Lee's character is he accidentally stumbles across a official who's dying, and this is during the Ming versus Qing dynasty wars, and so this Ming, who's supposed to be the good guys, Ming official hands him a ring and a document saying these are a list of our agents that it needs to get to such and such place, and it's like little town by little town by little town. He has to keep every little town he has to go to. He has to make contact with another person, and to keep going up the chain. Now the five brothers are led by their father, who's trying to stop that information from being passed upward. And if he does so within 30 days, he'll get a great promotion. So, so he sends his sons out to stop this, to find the list and to stop it from going upward. So Dragon keeps going upward, and it seems like the bad guys are like one step ahead of him, and they know the right passwords and everything else to keep him moving forward. It benefits them that he leads them to the main man, Mr. Chung. I know a lot of the names sound alike, but trust me, it's different. So Mr. Chun is the main person they're trying to get to. Unfortunately, a lot of tragedy happens on the way as the people who are trying to help him, including the agent for the next stop up, he's killed. Several of the pro Ming friends of Dragon Lee are killed along the way. But he has allies. There are allies. There are some. There's you know, there's two young ladies. One's a great swordsman, and the other one is her father has died, but she knows some skills. So they go ahead and keep leapfrogging this, the different stops, trying to get this list to the right people. And then finally, they have a master kick-ass fight at the end of the movie. It's the five brothers versus the father versus Dragon Lee and his allies, and it's a pretty good long drawn out fight, actually. Um, I think what happens to this movie, I think what hurts this movie is it is in public domain, and a lot of it's just copied straight from the TV screen. The it needs to be cleaned up, really cleaned up, like Shout Factory type cleaned up, because the movie itself in '78 is in really poor shape. The action is pretty strong. Everybody gets their shot. I tell you that they had the main fight going on there, and I actually thought the swordswoman was facing one of the brothers who had lost his hand earlier. We don't know how it happened, but he wears a metallic hand, sort of like Mr. Han from Enter the Dragon, and so he is very deadly with that hand. And so at the final fight, you're thinking, well, that's the guy who Dragon Lee is going to be going against, but that's not true. It's the swordswoman that goes up against him and defeats him, which I thought was really entertaining. As I, and they definitely let the father have his shots. Um, everybody, like I said, everybody takes a beating here. It's and also gets this chance to shine, and that includes the bad guys, which is always sort of cool to see it in a lot of these martial arts movies when they've had the final fight. It's always good to see that, and you do appreciate the fact that you don't always know exactly how it's going to go. A lot of times martial arts, you can see, like in American martial arts movies, it's so obvious that it's. I mean, watch a Steven Seagal movie, and he defeats the whole room. Or Chuck Norris, and he could defeat the whole room by himself, and there's no question about it. Whereas martial arts in Hong Kong martial arts, the fights are a lot longer, and in a lot of ways a lot more realistic in that sense. Of course, in the Hong Kong movies, they take a hell of a lot more punishment too. That's for sure. Um, but I liked this movie. I thought this movie was entertaining. It was the first time I ever saw Dragon Lee, and he was active during the '70s and the '80s. So I will definitely be looking for more of his films. Like I said, this is a public domain movie, and in fact, it's actually on YouTube, and I will put a link down there to the movie. So if you want to check it out, you can just click on the link and go watch Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers. All right, well, that is it for this review. A short one for a change, right? Relatively short. But thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you've ever seen Dragon Lee, or if you've ever seen Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers, and let me know. I think probably the only two people I know who might have seen this movie will probably be Night from the Night Watch Zone and Mr. Dan from Mr. Dan and Horror, as they are martial art fiends. So hopefully they'll come by and drop a comment or two. Otherwise, that's it. This is a lot of fun. It was fun to go back and do a small movie like this. And we will be back next week with something new, which I don't know what we're watching. But whatever it is, it'll be fun. That's the only thing I can promise you. All right, that's it for us. Peace.